What's good, y'all? So in this video, I'm going to be reacting to Kendrick Lamar's Extremely Dark and Violent Past Detailed by Geek About It. So I feel like during this beef or something, like there was this like, even with the jokes that Andrew Scholes made, I feel like there was some like stigma or whatever that Kendrick won't really like that. He won't whatever because he's short. Which, like I said, if you're in taking height into fighting, like street fighting, you've never gotten into a fight in your life, or you've never seen a fight, because that doesn't matter, to be honest, at all. It might help you. There might be advantages, disadvantages, but it's not really you. If you know how to fight, you know how to fight. I don't care what size you are, and if you don't know, you don't know. Period. But I feel like even Drake was using this like sentiment of, you ain't really hard, bro. You ain't really hard. Coming from the child actor that grew up in a pretty good home was weird. And it's also, when I see the people who are saying that, like agreeing with that sentiment, and I look at them and what lives they're living, and they're in mansions or really privileged and stuff, I'm just like, what are y'all talking about? You know? Especially, I feel like people don't have to all be the same if they come out of a really rough area. That's just ignorant, for one. And I don't want people to have endured a lot of trauma, but most of the time it is going to happen when you're in certain circumstances. And then whether or not you're involved in it, when you're in an area where people are passing away so regularly and you're being exposed to crime at a young age or whatever the case may be, whether or not you're involved in it or not, it's going to affect you. Okay? So I don't really know what people were trying to like morph this conversation into, or why they thought that was even a good point. It was stupid. Anyways, let's get into it. I'm not really sure of the entire background. I know that he's, had to fight. I know that he's had friends pass away from violence and stuff like that. So I'm just interested in seeing the details. And by the way, he's my favorite rapper. I have to give him his flowers every time. So anyways, let's get into it.
Let's go. Bam! Hit me in the back of the head. Kendrick was like, hey! And he fighting with like two dudes.
I see this nigga Dave and K-Dot chasing the nigga. They jump a nigga.
He thought I was somebody else, bro. He low-key tried to press me. See, Kendrick grew up in the hood, like really grew up in the hood.
What's Kendrick's name from Westside?
The good kid in a mad city.
Aww.
This phrase, often used to describe Kendrick himself, paints a picture of someone surrounded by chaos and remaining untouched by it. However, this isn't the real story. For one, the title Good Kid, Mad City isn't just about Kendrick. It represents every kid who grew up in Compton, not just those who avoided gang life, but every single child shaped by their environment.
The half of the story of kids in Compton is just basically good kids in a mad city.
I feel that we are good kids in a mad city. You know what I mean? It all stems from being a kid, and it's just the shit you exposed to. You know what I mean? I was exposed to it too.
No one is born evil. It's the circumstances and environments we grow up in that mold us. The album captures this universal experience, reflecting on how good people can be pushed to do terrible things. Kendrick, like many others from his neighborhood, did some of these terrible things.
I don't think they really understand the story all the way. As far as I put out there, I'm just the good kid in the mad city. You know what I mean? I put out the positive out there, but they don't know the negatives I had to go through yet. I told them I went to school and I got straight A's, but I didn't tell them that I was out there with in the streets with the homies.
And he does say that in some of his songs, like Father Time, about how his dad was there for him. But it didn't matter how much he was there for him, he couldn't keep him past them streets. So he like puts little hints in songs. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he wants to get on a song and like make it seem like that life is cool, or it should be live like the lifestyle is like I don't think he wants to make it like a positive thing, like somehow people do be like, yeah, in these streets with the drugs and the guns and the like. I don't think he wants to do that. So I think that's why he frames what he says in a certain way. I think now he's gotten to a point where he's been able to balance it, where it's just like, you're not about to mess with me, it's just not gonna happen, okay? And if you do, then this will happen. But I don't think he's framing it like this life is cool.
All of a sudden, he's like a gangbanger or some shit like that. Like,
the idea that you have to actively join a gang to face violence or life-threatening. Even if Kendrick has never raised a flag, that wouldn't mean he wasn't deeply affected by the chaos he grew up around.
Exactly. It's so...
We all know K-Dot grew up in a dangerous Pyru neighborhood in Compton, surrounded by gang culture and violence. His father moved the family to Compton after Kendrick's mother gave him an ultimatum to leave the streets. But the city of Compton turned out to be just as dangerous as Chicago. Despite their efforts to shield Kendrick, the reality of gang life was unavoidable.
Hey kid, where the pump at, nigga? Don't make me go get that. Go get the pump. Go get the pump. It's a Compton thing. It's a Compton thing.
Oh.
Death and loss were constants in his world. By the time he was 8 years old, he had witnessed 2 murders. And as a teenager, Kendrick felt the pull of the streets. His father, after recognizing where Kendrick was headed and seeing the kind of company he kept, had a serious conversation with him. My father said, "I don't want you to be like me." I couldn't grasp it at the time. He told me about his mistakes and warned me not to make the same ones.
What does Steve Harvey got going on with them things? Y'all know what they are.
His father was a street dude, and now he was seeing his son heading down the same destructive path. So he tried all he could to steer his son in the right direction. But still, the pressures of the streets were too strong.
That man knew a lot, but not enough to keep me past them streets.
Bro. I just be.
Where you at?
Who the hell
My
is that?
pops was still,
is that his dad?
bumping his head too, but at the same time, he always had so much of a love for me. He gave me the wisdom in the game to say, you know what, I did that, don't do that.
Right.
And sometimes he could stop it, sometimes he couldn't, because I still had my friends surrounding me in the community.
Same. Okay, not to get too much in my business. My mama, she is very successful now, very successful. She grew up in the hood, in the projects.
Ended up fighting all the time. Had to go to like what are them schools when you get kicked out of like school and it's like a school for bad kids. Like I don't know. It's like an alternative school or something, right? Anyway, she went to that, dropped out of that. No, she got kicked out of that and ended up just dropping out of high school. And just wasn't going on the right path, whatever. Eventually, she had my brother. Then eventually, because me and my brother's like 11 years apart, had me. Ended up turning that shit around, like a big turnaround, okay? And so some of the stuff she was doing, my uncle was in and out of jail and stuff like that, whatever. Stuff that she's experienced, whatever. She would always tell me like not to do it because she did it, or because she already went through it, or saw people that went through it, or saw somebody end up gone to heaven based off of things. You know what I'm saying? So that makes complete sense. And I'm not gonna lie, I've always said this. For some reason, I was a great kid, great high schooler, whatever. I don't know what happened. After that, I've always had like some anger issues, but I just started having issues once I was like 20, and I'm not gonna lie, until about 25. I don't know what I had going on. Anyways, but it was one of the things where like you can know somebody else is doing stuff, right? You can know they've been through it and that they probably know better than you, and sometimes it don't stop you. Maybe some things will, but
sometimes it does not. It's not enough.
Lil L, Kendrick's best friend since elementary school, represents the Pyru set. He became widely known after appearing in noisy Compton. L's life has been turbulent, marked by time in and out of jail since his teens. His mother's addiction to crack during his early years left him reliant on care from others in the community. Jason Keaton is another one of his close childhood friends. He lost his mother in the 6th grade, and by the time he was 14, he was fully immersed in the Westside Pyru gang. In 2007, Jason was sentenced to 21 years in prison. After he got arrested, he asked Kendrick to look after his younger brother, Chad. Tragically, Chad was killed in a drive-by shooting in 2013, leaving Jason with immense guilt for introducing his brother to the gang lifestyle. Kendrick also felt guilty for being unable to protect Chad, as he had promised.
I felt more safer in Afghanistan than I did when I do here. It's constantly, you have to watch cars going up and down your street. When you walk outside your house, you want to see who's out there before you step too far outside your front door now.
Chad was a really hard one for Kendrick. It was really hard for him because Chad was like younger than us,
Was that what Sing About Me was about? I don't know, but I just remember wait. The songs weren't from Kendrick's perspective, right? They were from other people's perspective. Someone tell me, I don't know.
Like a little bro.
J-Man, another childhood friend, faced a similar fate.
My big brother was from the hood, you know what I'm saying? So his name J-Man, you know what I'm saying? A member affiliated with a known gang. He found himself going to prison for 25 years. You feel me? I ain't had no daddy or no mama at the time, you feel me? So All I had was the hood.
Some of his other childhood friends are Lil Ducky, J Real, and Yang Yang.
Ducky, I've heard
recently
that
just finished a 10-year prison sentence.
Drop the Pyru, nigga do. I've been knowing this nigga Kendrick on my son life. On my son life. I've been knowing this nigga since this, nigga. On my son, nigga. No cap, nigga.
J Real and Yang Yang are mentioned in Kendrick's song Mad City and have appeared in his music videos. However, there isn't much information about them. G-Weed is someone who he calls his big homie. He is currently doing 11 years in prison. Everyone I've mentioned so far all falls under the Westside Pyrus. Unlike his friends, Kendrick had the stability of a father who provided guidance and a mother who avoided addiction. Despite this, he didn't shy away from joining his friends in their activities. They smoked, drank, committed
He
petty...
talked about that on Art of Peer Pressure. Oh my God, this man is literally a freaking genius, bro. He's amazing. But he talks about that, like when he, like things that he might not have done by himself. Once he got around his friends, he found himself doing.
And serious crimes. He fought rival neighborhood kids. He was even banging the set for a time. Here's the thing about gangbanging. I was born in that area where you have to be affiliated. Gangs is my family. I grew up with them.
Yeah. Because people gonna ask where you from anyway. And so I've heard like, okay, so unfortunately I've known people that have been in that life. Whatever, okay? So you have to, especially when you go to prison, it's very convenient to be a part of that.
Everything from Good Kid, Mad City actually happened to him.
Kendrick's been making Good Kid, Mad City since I known him. So for me, it was like, all those stories, it was just like, you know, finally, people get to hear the truth, you know what I'm saying?
Did you really meet a woman in a shopping center, or did that actually happen?
Yeah, definitely. It was us being depressed because something just happened to our homeboy, tragic.
Right, yeah.
And, you know, when we got confronted by this lady inside of a shopping center, that was the actual moment that really transpired, you know, to me actually making a change in my life. Drinking habits, you'll see when I have them. Yeah. You'll see smoking habits.
That was me.
You?
That got laced.
Oh.
Reason why I don't smoke, and it's in that album.
Because he was foaming at the mouth.
Motherfucker that lace your shit.
It's in the story.
Sing About Me is definitely a true song. My partner talking to me, speaking on the story how I was there, you know, when his brother passed, and I got...
So that, was it them? The one when I said when it, you know? I know, y'all know what I'm saying. Words just disappear sometimes.
I got to watch him take his last breath. Him, you know, respecting I was down for his brother no matter how much they called him a delinquent. And if I happen to pass before your album drop, I want you to tell this story. Sing about me. Make sure you sing about me. And he definitely passed too.
When he was 15,
it was
he
a
got
different
stomped
one
out.
then.
And this wasn't the only time this happened. It's
Guy got stomped out in front of my mama. My daddy called me Sarah, made it to commas. Bitch, my grandma's dead, so ain't nobody praying for me. I'm on your head. Hey, my grandma's is dead too.
For example, Kendrick has a childhood friend he started rapping with named Antonio, aka Cannon.
Do you know a guy called Cannon?
My dude Antonio.
Here's a clip of him telling a story of when he and Kendrick were attacked and had to fight a group of dudes.
We were walking to the swap meet to get some t-shirts or whatever, and these dudes were like, hey, where you from? And I just walked out. Kendrick was walking with me. And then I just felt knuckles go, bah! It hit me in the back of the head. And I'm like, I spun around and clipped him on the chin. Kendrick was like, hey! And he fighting with like two dudes. I don't know what came over us. We turned into like wild Tasmania devils or something because we was able to beat up 4 dudes with just 2 of us, and we both short. It was the adrenaline that just had us like, y'all not about to just pick on us and beat us up.
That's my sentiment. Nobody about to bully me. And that's gotten me in some bull crap though. But that is what it is. Like I'm not gonna allow myself to be bullied, and I'm not gonna allow nobody else to be bullied around me. You're not about to bully somebody. Are you stupid?
Kendrick started to realize how lucky he was. He had everything his friends didn't. Loving and supporting parents, and a talent that could help him escape his environment. At the same time, he was also starting to see the consequences of their choices.
I was the only one probably the only one in America probably with an actual active father in his life. I don't know. Well, at least in Compton. I bumped my head a few times, but what they didn't have, what I had was somebody to say, all right, you bumped your head, now you see what happened? You in back of a police car. See what happened? You at the station.
In one interview, Kendrick recalled picking up his best friend Lil L and pleading with him to join him at the studio. But L refused, saying that he had to put in work and do his thing.
Oh.
Hours later, he was arrested. What struck him most was the realization that if he hadn't been in the studio, he would have definitely been with L, committing the same crime, and he'd likely have gone to jail too. From that moment on, their paths diverged. In a 2011 interview, Kendrick...
And just to say, when Drake was doing it, when he was like, when he was on Taylor Made and, was basically saying he ain't never been to jail. Is jail cool? Let me know. I got friends in that bitch. I've had a boyfriend that went in there. That shit's not cool. I don't condone none of that. That gets you in there. Other than never mind. And to be completely honest, I've always been the person to trying to lead mofos away from stuff like that. I'm like, let's go to the beach. Let's go play basketball. Let's not do stupid stuff. And then if you can't control people, so if they decide to do something, I was like, well, I'm leaving, okay? Because y'all not about to do nothing stupid to my life.
Kendrick admitted he was almost sent to prison himself. He had been arrested and often faced dangerous encounters with police. To this day, Kendrick avoids sharing specifics about that period of his life. He knows how people fixate on negativity, and he doesn't want to glorify a lifestyle that destroyed so many of his loved ones. Instead, he's committed to being a voice of change.
When you think of Compton, all you think about, glorifying street violence. Me coming from the area and, seeing all my uncles and really seeing that lifestyle, I want to, bring something different to the table.
And from Compton, I could have easily came out and said, I did this, I did that. I done killed a whole bunch of niggas. I done, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather talk about something a little bit more deeper than that. The reasons and the problem and the solutions behind it.
Mm-hmm. He sees his role as a person who's showing a better path, even though the darkness of his past still seeps into his music and words.
Of course.
This is the side of himself he tries to hide from the public, the hot-headed shadow self, as his partner Dave Free calls it. In a 2022 W magazine interview, Dave reflected on the side of Kendrick. Those moments when we would get impressed, or me seeing that side of Kendrick which people don't know. I've seen that side of him where he'd be a poet in one moment, but then he'd be protecting himself or his family. Through it all, Kendrick chose to rise above. Most of his friends didn't get that chance, and that's why he refuses to romanticize the streets.
First off, RP to my nigga S Braze, my nigga Chad, and my big homie Pup. I do it for them, but that shit hurted when they took my niggas away from me, man. Shit, all of them died gunshots. Got killed.
This person takes somebody you love, you feel like you want to go get some revenge, you know what I'm saying? Like, seeing him battle with that on the road was, hard because it's it was real. It's
Forgiving his friend's killers was an emotional burden, made heavier by the guilt of leaving his friends that were trapped back home. His friend G-Weed was shot in the head and then right after sent to prison for 11 years. Another friend from the neighborhood, Key Richards, was killed a few years ago. He gave him a little tribute while he was performing on SNL. Because of all the people he's lost, he has made it a priority to uplift his community and give back to those he grew up with that are still around.
And that's the thing, is that he would keep, even in the distance, he would, like I said, it was little things, be like, the first time I shot me a Drake, the homie had told me to aim it this way. I didn't point down enough. That was all double. I don't think he was just talking about, shot at Drake in a beef. No, with the pew-pew. You feel me? So I feel like he like I said, and like they said, glorifying it is not his goal. I don't even think he wants people to know, because I think people have painted him as hip-hop savior and this, and he's done this, all of these great things. He doesn't want to maybe tarnish it. How I present myself, how I haven't let that part of my life take everything over or define me, and I moved past it and I tried to uplift instead.
While Jason was incarcerated, he went back to school and got a degree. He also wrote 2 books behind bars that Kendrick promoted while performing on SNL. During that same performance, he celebrated Lil L finally getting his passport, meaning he could go on tour with them. Since L has been out of prison in 2019, he's been working at PG Lang. He's also being put through school by Kendrick for an executive position that's waiting for him when he's done.
Oh my God. I'm on my period, y'all, so I might start crying, okay? This isn't normal for me. I'm not a crier. But when that shit gets to going, I started on fucking Christmas. Like, it wouldn't be me to start on Christmas.
Right now, he putting me through executive school and shit. It ain't nothing to play. I gotta stay 100% focused. Kendrick and Dave be on my ass about going to the hood, and it's like, you know, they don't want a nigga in jail, so I understand what they saying. Shit, I be in 5-star hotels with them, like, you know, going to the studios with them out of town, like, you know, certain shit that I don't broadcast because, you know.
Pyro.
J Real, Ducky, and Richie also work at the company.
Yes,
I'm
I
sure
love
like
this.
Lil L, there are plans to get them set up long term. He's also looked out for his childish friend J-Man's little brother Hitta, most recently putting him on
J3?
DMX. He has created a supportive environment, proving that it's possible to rise above circumstances and inspire change.
Bro, like I said, it's the period, bro. Because that is so sweet. That is so inspiring, you know? Because I hear this, like, the critique of some people being like, oh, you get rich and you leave the hood, you just leave us here, whatever. He has continuously put money in, tried to help the people around him, and I just find that to be amazing. Amazing, okay? I think he is my favorite rapper because he can rap his ass off. He is unmatched, bro. But on top of that, the characteristics of him, okay, the cheating, that was something that really threw me off, but everything everything else that I hear that he does, even how he's always there for his children and trying to, how on Mr. Morale at the end, him and Whitney on Mother I Sober, saying that he broke a generational curse and whatever else, very deep stuff. But I just admire, like, the person that he is, and what he went through, but didn't allow to define himself. Didn't let that anger too completely take over and just the revenge, like, I gotta get revenge and all that stuff. It's just really beautiful, bro. And this was a great video. This was a great video. Y'all subscribe to bro, okay? Oh God. All right. Anyways, y'all come subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on TikTok. We'll see y'all in the next one.